it's short, it's not boring, it's a dark comedy, it's funny.
Yeah.
And I think it's really relatable. So I grew up in a town called The Woodlands, which is just outside of Houston, and it's a master planned community. On the people who lived there, on the sort of the way of life, I think there was an idea that like you had to live your life a certain way, and like that's what the American dream was, I guess, that you had a very traditional looking heterosexual marriage with a couple of like lovely kids who would hopefully go to an Ivy League school and made a certain amount of money, and many of the women didn't work, and I don't know, it felt very traditional in this kind of slightly oppressive sense, and I just found it to be kind of phony.
Yeah, and it also gives you more room to rebel, I guess.
Well, there was a lot of rebellion.
Yeah.
I think Barb is struggling with things that women have been struggling with forever. The role that she is forced into and then has sort of agreed also to become this sort of perfect, idealized version of a woman, whatever that may be. Her role just happens to be as a housewife, but I think a lot of women are put into holes, put into boxes, put into, sort of roles, and then because they want to participate in the past, because we have wanted to participate in the world, have agreed to become those things, and that's changing. There have been many women who've come up to me after seeing the play and have said, that feels like my life, even if they aren't, married with 2 kids or they aren't living in the suburbs. That feels like my life, or this horrific thing happened to me, or this was a time that I was sort of marginalized as a woman, and I think what the play does is it brings a lot of those feelings to the surface. He's a very traditional husband, or he asks for a traditional family, but he's quite unhappy in his life as well. So I think the way that maybe I have changed, my views of Walt have changed, is that I think when I wrote him I had less empathy for him, and I think I have more now, because he's trying to do something that someone else told him to do. This is how a man should be, should behave, should treat his family. These are all the things that a man has to do in order to be a good husband and a good man. And that's quite a lot. That's a burden to put on one person. It's a world where I think they realize also, I think children are always aware of what's going on in a way that sometimes even adults are not. I think we
100%.
we start to develop a thing where we can like block stuff out if we like don't want to deal with it. But children don't do that. They don't know that they should. And so I think they're always aware of what's going on. And the children in this play, Jack in particular, totally knows what's happening in his house, but he just doesn't have the language yet to say stop. He doesn't have the language to say like this is dangerous, this is not going well, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
Which is why he tries to make a play, which is what I do. But Jill, I think, doesn't quite know that yet. She's a little bit too young. I think it will translate well. I think at its heart, the ideas are really universal. Feeling stuck in your life, feeling like life has disappointed you, trying to be something that you're not. And I think my country is so chaotic right now. I feel like the world is feeling the repercussions of that, and so I feel like taking this play to a different country, I think is the right time to do that.
I completely agree.
Yeah.